It's been a while since we've heard from the Nine. Sure, Xur still takes in strange coins and appears in the tower, but it's been years since any major development from the Nine has happened. There was arrivals, prophecy, and then some lore taps. Today we're going to talk about the last time we interacted with the Nine, what they are after, and if they have any connections to our Strand powers.
Anything else I can do for you?
You're already doing it. Keep playing the game.
So what are the Nine? To summarize, the Nine are dark matter entities, conscious forms that exist in the gravity wells of our solar system, specifically the planets and maybe even sun. It is said that these entities formed in the early days when life began to evolve on Earth. When the Traveler arrived and granted paracausal power to humans, creating Guardians, members of the Nine would split into two factions, curious about these new forms of power. One of these factions was friendly toward humans, while the other not so much. They would do anything it takes to try and evolve themselves, acquire power like the humans and Guardians had. So that's a brief overview. When's the last time we heard from the Nine? Throughout Destiny 2's life cycle, there's been a lot. There's been Trials of the Nine, The Reckoning, the Emissary of the Nine and her interactions with Queen Mara. There's been a ton. The Prophecy Dungeon during Season of the Arrivals was the last major time we heard from the Nine. There may have been some lore cards since, but to my knowledge, basically nothing. Either Bungie put the Nine on the back burner for a bit to focus on other story threads and seasons, the Nine story wasn't worth wrapping up in this saga, or we will see them sometime this year, in seasonal content perhaps. Regardless, the last we heard in a major fashion was the Prophecy Dungeon, where the Nine would try to explain the difference between light and dark. What was that difference? Nothing. The Nine's stance told us that these forces are simply forces. There was no winner among them.
Their answer is complete. Then we learn nothing.
Well, I wouldn't say that. The Nine pass no judgment on dark or light, and they love passing judgment. Trust. That means in their eyes, the two are the same.
Zavala will disagree.
Strand is a form of darkness that exists in all places. As we relinquished our control, we found the truth. How to wield Strand, manipulate the weave, and pull on these strings of fate to create and wield. Strand and its threads connect all living things and minds.
As I understand it now, it is the elemental manifestation of psychic connection. All minds are connected in a web of consciousness, which we can now see and feel. To wield Strand is to pull on the hidden connecting threads and to use them to create, manipulate, and unravel.
Strand could just exist in all things, Guardians and the Nine included, but is there a deeper connection to the Nine specifically? If there is, it's not mentioned yet, but we can see some connections. The lore book titled Dust, released back in Season of the Drifter, gives us some interesting quotes. A character studies the Nine and believes she figures out what they are, those dark matter entities. Here's some quotes. With a horror of revelation so absolute that it would drive her mad if she still had sanity to lose, Lavinia understands where the Nine have always been. They are within everyone, every system, every living and moving thing. Trillions and pentillions of slim dark matter tentacles plunge through all our bodies, drinking up the complexity of our lives and thoughts. We are all pinched silhouettes impaled on the twitchlings of infinitely long spider legs. So we can kinda see some of those connections to Strand from that Dust lore book, like webs of a spider, thick cords of shadow stuff, and existing everywhere, in everyone, just like Strand. The Nine likely did not know of this power back then, but do they now, like the Guardians do? They clearly wanted to become paracausal like the Guardians, or more powerful in nature, so if they learned to accept Strand, could they? Strand was written after arrivals and the creation of the Nine, so who knows what will happen. Bungie could tie Strand into the story of the Nine, leave their story as it is, or expand upon them in a new way in the future content, seasonal or next saga. The Nine don't have bodies yet. They may be trying to evolve, but they are just these dark matter streams of consciousness that evolved this way. The Nine are currently metaphysical like other forms of darkness, hence why they have physical emissaries sent to interact with us in Orin and Zur. The Nine have always intrigued me, specifically the secrets and mysteries Bungie has woven into their stories. Even back from Destiny 1's Ghost Fragment Legends cards, we have a bunch of quotes about what the Nine could possibly be. The Nine are the shadows left by the annihilation of a transcendent shape, burned into the weft of what is. And the Nine are ancient Leviathan intelligences from the seas of Europa or the hydrocarbon pits of Titan. That last one is of more interest as we are heading back to Titan. Now, these quotes of course were released in Destiny 1, when Bungie likely had no idea what the Nine specifically was. Maybe they still don't, given why we haven't seen the Nine in a while, but the latest belief is from that Dust lore book, the Dark Matter Entities. Those quotes from earlier in the Dust book told us the Nine are everywhere and in everything. So in that aspect, it makes sense that the Ghost Fragment card explains them as many different possibilities. It's still interesting to think about though, the seas of Europa or the hydrocarbon pits of Titan. Examples of hydrogen and carbon would be gas or coal, so pits like that existing on Titan would be weird considering most of the moon is a methane ocean. They would have to be underground somewhere. But doing some more research, methane also appears to be a gas that is found in small quantities in the atmosphere. Methane is the simplest hydrocarbon, consisting of one carbon atom and 4 hydrogen atoms. So in short, the methane oceans of Titan could house the Nine according to that Destiny 1 card. So if the hydrocarbon pits of Titan exist, they're likely underwater, a place we'll be heading in next season's Season of the Deep. What also seems to be lurking below, a giant creature, referred to by Sloane herself as a Leviathan.
This looks like the new Pacific arcology.
On Titan? What's that got to do with the darkness? Sloane has that neighborhood on lockdown.
The Hive nest there in the ruins of the Golden Age, and a Leviathan of untold strength has made it her home.
I danced with the dark. The Hive are not the dark.
The Hive are the children of darkness, as we are of the light. I'll speak to Sloane. Maybe she's seen something.
So it's just wild speculation. We know from the Dust lore book what the Nine supposedly are, but does next season have any connection? Does that Destiny 1 Legends card have any truth? Or is the Nine story complete, at least for this saga? Anyway, Guardians, that's all we got for today's video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do the Nine have a connection to Strand? And when do you think we'll see them next appear in Destiny's story? If you'd like to see some more Destiny lore and mysteries just like this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Anyway, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.